everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,000 point battle, Warriors of Chaos vs. Bretonnians. This is against the opponent that I played in the Square-based online tournament 2. He's a very, very good player. He played Tomb Kings last I saw him, and this time he threw together a Bretonnian list and whooped my ass. But it was a really good game. I know, spoilers. But yeah, it was a really good game. A lot of fun, learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to getting to the carnage. Here's my list, and I've done some more tweaking. I really want to make a Demon Prince work, so I have one as my general at 480 points. He's got the Mark of Chaos Undivided. He's got Fly 9. He's a level 4 wizard with Demonology. He's got a Spell Familiar, the Tome of the Dark Gods, Armor Meteoric Iron, Favorite of the Gods twice, and then a Brazen Collar. And also I give him Diabolic Splendor because, yeah, he's got a lot of saves, but I tend to fail triple saves, so it is what it is. I'm just trying to hedge my bets. And I want to use him like a level 4 wizard with the option to charge into combat if I see it as beneficial or whatnot. I think I might be putting too many eggs in one basket with this character. I want him to do too much instead of specializing him. Maybe that's smart. I don't feel that it is, given my play style, but this is what I'm trying. And then I have my Sorcerer Lord, Lord Tremendous. He's still in his chariot, level 4 Wizard Battle Magic, Mark Zinch, Spell Familiar, Infernal Puppet, Favor of the Gods, and the Ruby Ring of Ruin. And yeah, he's a mobile magic missile, just kind of platform, and then he's got a little punch if I need it. For my core, I've still got 6 Chaos Warhounds with Armored Hide, and they're chaff. I mean, I don't expect anything more than that. If they save their points, out flippin' standing. I've got 14 Forsaken, and they're Forsaken of Khorne. I wanted a kind of Tar Pit unit. I toyed with just doing Frenzied Chaos Marauders with flails, light armor shields, just to get them into whatever combat they could, especially with skirmishing. That could be a lot of fun, gives them a lot of versatility. I'm probably going to try that a little bit later, but I just really like the Forsaken. The 5-up armor, 5-up ward, and the lunatic amount of potential attacks is just exciting, and I like the randomness of it. So I'm trying Forsaken. If I can get them to work, great. If not, my cloud of Chaos Marauders with flails might be the next thing I do. And then, of course, I have 6 Chaos Knights with Full Command Lances, Banner of Rage, Brazen Collar, and the Mark of Nurgle, because hit or miss, I just like Chaos Knights. In special, I have my Dragon Ogres. My one is Shartak, Great Weapon, and the Blackened Plate. It's my favorite kit on my favorite model, so yeah, I'm going to probably try to keep him in every list I make. And then he's got his little brother. He's a Shartak, Great Weapon, Heavy Armor. I wish I could take the Blackened Plate twice. I really do. I gave him Uncanny Senses just to make him a little bit faster in combat. Sometimes it'll make a difference, sometimes it won't, but I had 10 points. Why not, right? And then in rare, of course, I have my 2 Gigantic Spawn of Chaos, one with Khorne, one with Nurgle, because I'm still testing out what mark I like the best. I've decided screw Slaanesh, screw Tzeentch when it comes to the Gigantic Spawns. I'm torn between Khorne and Nurgle, but to be perfectly honest with you, I'm leaning towards Khorne. Alrighty, for this one, I go up against Bretonnians, and I'm playing the guy that I met in the Square-based online tournament 2, the number 2 ranked tournament player in the old world, in the world, who whooped my ass. Real cool guy, though, a lot of fun to play against, and we got another game in, so this was fantastic. For this one, he was playing a list of Bretonnians, and hey, I'm never going to complain. I like fighting against Bretonnians. So his general is his Duke at 461 points. He's got full plate armor, shield, and lance. He's on a Hippogriff. He's got the Grommel Great Helm, the Falcon Horn of Freddy, whatever, the Gauntlet of the Duel, and the Virtue of Heroism. And I'm not sure exactly how accurate or if I've captured everything in his list has. He kind of sent it to me in text, and it feels like some things are missing. Not a big deal. This is generally what he has. He had a Prophetess, level 4 wizard using the Lore of Illusion, had a Lore Familiar, Sword of the Stout-Hearted, and then his Baron was Shield, Full Plate Armor, Royal Pegasus, Ogre Blade, Gauntlet of the Duel, Knight's Vow, and Virtue of Knightly Temper. So some real solid hero choices. For his core, he had a huge brick of 28 Knights of the Realm on foot with full command, great weapon shields. I don't know if they had a magic banner. I want to say they did, maybe the war banner. I cannot remember off the top of my head, and it wasn't in the list that he sent me. And then he had 2 units of 10 peasant bowmen who were in skirmish formation. Finishing off his army was 2 units of Pegasus Knights with full command. They had 20-point differences in the unit cost. I don't know why. I don't remember. Probably a magic banner or maybe some sort of special item that he took on his unit champion. If he took a unit champion, I'm pretty sure they both had full commands. But yeah, I don't know. Is this what was on his list? So if you want to reach out to him, hit him up in the comment section below and see if he responds. Here are my spells for this one. My Demon Prince got the Summoning, Blue Flame, Fleshy Abundance, Demonic Familiars, and Demonic Vigor. And my level 4 Lord Tremendous got Fireball, Blue Flame, Arcane Urgency, Curse of Cowardly Flight, and Pillar of Flame. My opponent had Glittering Robes, The Lady's Gift, Column of Crystal, and Spectral Doppelganger. Here's deployment, and I mean, it's Bretonnians. There's not a lot of subtlety or craziness that goes on when you're fighting them. I lined up pretty much across from them. On my left side there, I have my greater spawn of Nurgle, I believe, right next to both of my Dragon Ogres, figuring I'm going to run into Pegasus. Well, more than likely they're going to run into me, and hopefully I can countercharge, or at least get revenge for whoever got murdered. Really, the Dragon Ogres are supposed to support the spawn, because hopefully he doesn't just get like Killing Blow or anything like that before they can countercharge. The dogs are in front of my knights in the middle there. I would love to get them into the Knights of the Realm. I don't know how that's going to work. My level 4, Lord Tremendous in his chariot, is right across from where his Sorcerer Prophetess is, so that hopefully Infernal Puppet comes into play. I do see his Duke on the Hippogriff, but I'm just hoping beyond hope. The Forsaken are right there to kind of help countercharge and to decline. Like, there's a chance to get Killing Blow, which would be great against the Pegasus Knights, but we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. Next to them for support is the Corn greater spawn of, so hopefully, or gigantic spawn, I should say. And the Woods doesn't bother him too much, and so if he can get into something, he's got Killing Blow as well. There's, the fingers crossed. And then I have my Demon Prince on the right side there. The idea with him is to get him around the flank and just magic missile everything into non-existence. I know the Pegasus Knights have 360 charge arcs and all that stuff, but he can challenge and hopefully hold his own long enough to kill some stuff, or at least get maybe the spawn to help him out. On my opponent's side there, starting on our left, he's got some Peasant Bowmen. Behind them are one of his units of Peg Knights with no characters added. Then, of course, he's got his huge brick of Knights of the Realm on foot with the Prophetess installed in there. He's got his Duke Demigriff on the hill right behind, or right in front of him is his second unit of Peasant Bowmen, and then he's got his Blender Baron in the other unit of Pegasus Knights. So yeah, this is going to be a fight. We go into top 1, and I actually got to go first. This is a rare gift. So I went forward. I kept out of charge ranges of anything that had flyers because I'm not crazy, with the exception of the spawn, but with them having to go through the woods, if he were to charge a spawn and make it, I mean, that's the Dark Gods will it. There's nothing I can do about that. My Demon Prince did get within range to fire off some spells at the Pegasus Knights, but just enough. Again, if they charge him, they would have to hit the woods. It'd be the lower of the 2 die, plus -1 to their movement. So yeah, if they make it into that combat, then it was just destined. There's nothing I can do about that. Everything else just kind of came up to try to deal some damage to stuff and to bait. On the left flank there, the spawn moves around, daring the Pegasus Knights to charge him. And if they do, I didn't think they'd be able to kill him. The Blender Lord isn't in there. The characters aren't in there. They could do some damage to my guy, but he's unbreakable. So hopefully he'd do some damage back. And then the 2 Dragon Ogres could countercharge, and I wouldn't have to worry about those unit of Pegasus Knights anymore. That was the plan in my head. You'll see how that goes. The Knights on the hill, they stay back because, again, if anything were to charge the dogs, kill them, and overrun, I want my Knights to be able to countercharge. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It's what I got. Leave me alone. And the Forsaken move up, daring anything to get within charge range because they're hungry for battle. That was it for movement. In the magic/shooting phase, my Demon Prince fires off his spell. I think it was the Summoning on the Bretonnian Knights, and it goes off, and it does some wounds. He just makes a bunch of his saves. 1 wound got through, so better than nothing, but just barely. In this one over here, I wanted to shoot at the archers, but unfortunately Blue Flame and stuff just wasn't in range, so the Knights on foot were, so I fired off at them, and I actually got it off, and it did 2 wounds, so okay, not bad. I cast Fireball at the unit of archers, and I took them down by, I think, 3. Again, not doing a ton of wounds, but it's nickel and dime, and I'll take what I get. Of course, they passed. I don't think they need to take a panic check, and if they did, they passed it, no problem. There's no combat because it's turn one. I mean, I'm trying, people, but we go over here to bottom of turn one, and he comes forward like, yeah, there's no cowards in this army. His Bretonians just kind of move around a little bit to the right flank there. His Duke fires forward to get right in the face of my Sorcerer Lord. I really did plan to just try to scoot out of his way so he couldn't charge me. I knew the Knights would have to charge, but I had no intention of charging myself. I figured I'd send the Forsaken in as well. If they make it, great. If not, not a big deal. Hell, I'd send the Spawn if they could slam into him. Just throw everything that I could at him until, something stuck. But that was really about it. His unit of bowmen on the left flank, our left flank, move over, kind of shift over to their right, our left. And yeah, that's it for movement. The wounded unit of bowmen take aim at my spawn in the woods and are able to slip a wound through on him, which actually enraged him quite badly. So, still no combat, so here's top of 2 after movement, and yeah. So, the Forsaken and the Knights charge his Duke on the Griffin, his general or whatever. He countercharges the Knights, because he can do that, which puts him into base to base with the Sorcerer. Just going straight towards him, he slammed into the Sorcerer. Nothing I could do for it. Completely legal. It's one of those weird things with the rules as they are now, but completely legal. I didn't see it. Honestly, he admitted he didn't see it either. It's just a happy accident that couldn't have worked out better for him. So now my Sorcerer is in a combat he does not want to be in against a fighty lord. Oh yeah, I am SOL dead right here. I know it. My Knights are going to do a little bit of combat res, and that's going to be about it. My Forsaken did try to get in there, but because of the countercharge, they failed. If it hadn't been for the countercharge, it actually would have made it, which is a little discouraging. I don't know how well they would have done, but we would need to find out. My spawn on the left side there, he moved like 5 inches. It wasn't very much, so I didn't really move him. The 2 Dragon Ogres move up to kind of support him because I do see what the Pegasus Knights are getting ready to do. On the right side, my other guy, he just didn't, the spawn, he only moved like 7 inches up, so it's just kind of enough to threaten the Knights a little bit. And then my Demon Prince moved around to try to deal with the Bowmen and take any shots of opportunity he could get. That's it for movement. We go into the shooting phase, and I target one of his units with the summoning, and of course that was in range, so his prophetess tries to stop it and ends up miscasting 6, which is quite nice, which puts the 3-inch template right on top of her head, hitting, well, it does 3 partials to the unit and 1 partial to the Pegasus Knights, which hilariously enough results in nothing getting hurt but her. So, we get a little justice, she gets punished for her transgression, and now I'm going to cast my spell. Which, funnily enough, results in like 2, maybe 3 Knights on foot getting killed thanks to Blue Flame. I'll take it. Nothing else happens in the magic phase, so we go into combat, and he issues a challenge. My Sorcerer Lord accepts. I thought about taking it with the unit champion. I really did. Maybe I should have, but I just felt like my Sorcerer had the higher toughness, had the higher, armor save and all that, so with a ward, I thought maybe he would be able to negate more of it, but he ends up taking 3 wounds regardless. I mean, he only won by 1. He did 3 wounds and had close order. I had banner, close order, close order. So he won by 1, and I was like, okay, I should give ground or fall back in good order. No, my Sorcerer Lord rolls an 11 and then rolls a 7 to get away. The Knights roll like an 8 or something like that, so they fall back in good order. I was just like, what the fuck? He pursued after my Sorcerer, easily ran him down and murdered him. I couldn't effing believe it. But I can't roll leadership checks to save my life, and this is the proof of that. Of course, he uses catches the curves to turn and look over at the Dragon Ogres, and now it's just a game of dominoes. When it rains, it pours. We go over here to bottom of turn 2, and oh man, is it bad. His Pegasus Knights charge into my spawn, which was expected, but it's still, now I'm a little nervous. His Duke charges into the flank of my favorite Dragon Ogre, the 2-up armor save one, so I'm not looking forward to that. His Knights of the Realm back up a little bit and get the Lady's Gift. The other Pegasus Knights move over to counter-threaten my spawn. And I'm running out of ideas. My Knights are completely blockaded. They can't do anything. The dogs, I'm just trying to well, I'm not trying to save their points. They continue to flee. They got charged by the Duke, or they got charged by something and fled, and that's where they ended up. And this is getting ugly quick. Nothing happens in the shooting phase, so we go into combat, and of course he issues a challenge. My Dragon Ogre has to accept. My Dragon Ogre does amazing. He puts 2 wounds on the Duke, takes 1 in return. So he's got 2 wounds. The Duke did a wound, has close order, and has a flank. So he actually wins by 1 because of positioning. I end up giving ground. It's the best Dragon Ogre on the planet. Yeah, he just shifts over, he gives ground. It wasn't a fallback in good order or anything, so I couldn't like reform or nothing like that. So yeah, he taps up against the other Dragon Ogre and stops, and of course he followed up. Oh man, but things go downhill quick from there. In this combat, I take 3 wounds. He doesn't monster slay me or anything, so that's kind of nice, but I did like 1 attack. They all missed. My stomps all got saved or didn't wound. It was the worst round of offensive combat I've ever had. And in fairness, he only did 3 wounds to me with all of his attacks, so both of us had a really crappy combat here. I do end up losing this combat, but I just end up giving ground a couple of inches, and they follow up. So, okay, I got the Dragon Ogre right there. I might be able to countercharge and do something. We'll see. Okay, it's bloody, but I'm trying. Here's stop at 3 after movement. And yeah, the Dragon Ogre slams into the flank of the Pegasus Knights and is hoping against hope. The Knights just kind of reposition themselves, hoping that they don't get, overran into. And if they do, at least it's a front. And then on the right, the Forsaken just kind of stay where they are. It's a standoff. My spawn literally rolled 3 ones. I moved like 2 inches. It's not great. I think total I moved 3 inches because he was still in the woods. So I think I rolled a 4. I mean, really rough. And then my Demon Prince just kind of shifts over a little bit to try to deal with some more of these guys. It's been a rough game. The dice aren't exactly with me, and I'm playing an opponent who you shouldn't be making mistakes against. That's it for movement. In the shooting phase, my Demon Prince fires off one of his spells, I think it was the summoning, into the bowman and kills all but 1. The little bastard passed his panic check, though. That really disappointed me. He fires his other spells off at the Knights on foot, and I think I killed 2 or 3 more. Not a lot. They're making their saves. I'm doing okay with wounds. Not great. I'm hitting like 8 or 9 times, but wounding 4. And he's doing okay with his saves. I think I killed 2 or 3 more between the remaining spells that I have. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but I guess it's better than nothing. With that over, we go into combat, and the spawn and the Dragon Ogre just go wild. My Dragon Ogre ends up issuing a challenge. His unit champion accepts it. I think he kills his unit champion. The spawn kills one of the other Pegasus Knights, and in return, he takes 1 wound. I end up getting like 6 to his 2. I win by 4, and I'm like, oh my god, I have a real chance to break him here. But no, of course not. He makes his break check. He gives ground. Son of a bitch! I'm the only one I fought that doesn't make their damn break checks. So I see what's about to happen with my Dragon Ogre with the Duke. I don't believe he's going to survive it, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn my spawn over and to look at his general so I can countercharge, because I figure he's going to be in my Knights or close to it, and maybe impact hits, maybe he can do something to actually hurt the Duke. He's got a better chance than anyone else. The Dragon Ogre stays. He pursues and stays in combat with the Pegasus Knights. I'm hoping he can survive another round. We'll see. And yeah, he lost by 4. What more could I do? Yeah, and in this combat, the little bonus round was over, and my Dragon Ogre gets cut down by his general, which was what should have happened in the first round. He ends up restraining and staying looking just like that, though, because it's his turn next, and I guess he wanted options. So yeah. So with that over, here's bottom of turn 3, and his Duke did go into the Knights. Kind of saw it coming. I thought maybe he'd go after the spawn, but going after the Knights is smarter because it's gonna blunt their lances and stuff. The other unit of Pegasus charge into the flank of the Dragon Ogre, if only to add a little bit more combat res, which is smart because everyone else fail or can pass their leadership check but me. So even if I lose by 1, I'll break. It's like a guarantee. guarantee, motherfucker. Other than that, his knights on foot stay still. The guy on the hill is like terrified, and the peasant bowmen are just like, we're just thrilled we're not dead yet, and that's it for movement. Nothing happens in shooting, so we go into combat, and exactly what happened, or should happen, happens. My Dragon Ogre gets mulched, and the Pegasus Knights win this combat easy. The knights on the left side there overrun into the flank of the spawn, and the other ones just kind of restrain and check out what's going on. It is what it is. In combat over here, I do not issue a challenge. I figured I'd like to get as many attacks back at this guy as I possibly can, and what happens is exactly what I figured was going to happen. He hits and wounds and kills 4 of these morons. I am able to put 1 wound back into him, which is whoop-de-fucking-do. I lose by 3, but I might as well have lost by 53. I'm sorry, that's not true. I lost by 2, which makes this worse because, of course, I failed my fucking leadership check, and I break. And then I roll a 4 or a 5. Like, as you can see, he didn't have to go very far. Catches these idiots and murders both of them. Oh, my God. The only thing I consistently do in these games is fail leaderships when I only lose by 1 or 2. It is mind-blowing to me why this happens all the time. It's a little frustrating, gotta be honest. So that brings us over here to top of turn 4, and I really don't have a lot. I go, screw it. The spawn moves forward like 6 inches. Like, I can't roll to save my life. The Demon Prince moves up a little bit because I'm treating him like a wizard. I'm not treating him like a combat character. The Forsaken, I think, stay right where they're at in case the Knights do get froggy and charge into the spawn. And I forget that the the Pegasus Knights have 360 charge arcs. So, of course, I leave my flank wide open on the Forsaken because I'm a fucking idiot. And that's it for movement. We go into the magic phase, and I did try to throw a spell at the guy on the hill, but he dispelled it. So out of spite, I fired off another couple at the Knights on foot, and I kill another 2 or 3, which is the status quo for this game. That brings us to combat, and he instantly mighty killing blows the spawn. So that was due. That was due. That was quick, right? So here's bottom of turn 4, and that's when I realized just how bad at this game I truly am. His Pegasus Knights, who do have 360 charge arcs, slam into the flank of the Forsaken, and I'm so disgusted with myself, it actually is painful. His Knights on foot literally needed a 6 to hit my spawn, and rolled like 3 of them. It wasn't even close. And yeah, everything else just kind of goes his way, and I'm just here for it. I mean, honestly, I kind of knew it was going to go this way. I just didn't realize how horribly wrong it was going to go for me in this game. So nothing has to happen in the shooting phase because the magic is in the combat phase. And he obliterates my spawn. I mean, he's vicious, but he's merciful. I'll give my opponent that. Spawn literally gets no chance to do anything. That's cute that he put the lady's gift on that unit because he didn't need any gifts. The gift was me. Just giving it up sweet. Oh my God. The Knights on foot had so much fun, they take a leisurely jog into the Forsaken, and then we go to this combat, and this one doesn't go nearly as bad. I think I end up getting like poison attacks or something, not killing Bill like I was hoping, but hey, 33% chance, and I don't roll well. But no, sometimes I do, that's not fair, I'm pouting. But I do end up being stubborn. He wins this combat. I'm stubborn. I fall back. I lose I lose like 5 of my guys, which isn't as terrible as it could have been. I don't do anything in return. Stubborn, fall back in good order, and the Pegasus Knights pursue, but his Knights on foot, they just kind of turn to face my Demon Prince. I think maybe I killed a few of these guys. Not enough to be impressive or even mention. But that's where we end up after combat. Moving right along. Here's top of 5 after movement. My Demon Prince is like, no! He moves back a little bit so that he can't be charged, and everything else is deader in combat. In the magic phase, my Demon Prince does take out a handful more of his his Knights on foot. Not enough to force a panic check, not that they would fail it even if I did, but that's what I do, and hey, at least not everybody will be at the victory party. We go into combat, and the Forsaken go crazy. I don't know if it was all the built-up karma or what. I take no wounds, kill 2 of the Pegasus Knights. I win this combat. My opponent does something that was the cruelest move that he could have done in any game he's ever played. He gave me hope. They fell back in good order. I pursued, because why not? I slam into the flank of his knights on foot, but his general and the other unit of Pegasus Knights are all sitting over there. This unit of Pegasus Knights turns around to face, not that it mattered, they can see anyway. And yeah, it looks really great. Oh, cool, I'm in your flank. But in a minute, I'm going to have about 8 Pegasus Knights and a pissed off Duke into my Forsaken. That being said, the Forsaken have done really, really well, and I'm impressed with them. So, fun combat. Here's bottom of 5 after movement, and because I'm latently psychic, I've already told you what was going to happen. Both units of Pegasus Knights charge, his general charges, everybody makes it in, and the Demon Prince has a front row seat to him returning to the warp due to gross incompetence. That's it for movement. So, just for the record, his peasant bowmen are shooting at my Demon Prince the past few turns. They're just not able to wound him, which is great, but they're able to wound everything else. So, we go straight into combat, and yeah, all but one Forsaken dies. Which is a shame, really, because I was really hoping they were going to be able to get some attacks off on the Knights of the Realm. But that's not the way it worked out. The one guy that remains, I think he did a wound to the unit in front of him. I don't remember. It's not enough to save him. And he gets murderlated. It's sad. That's where everything ends up afterwards, between overruns and pursuits and restraints and turning and all that other good stuff. Here's where everybody is, and we go to the top of turn 6. For the most part, I readjust my army. No, my Demon Prince gets the hell out of any charge arcs, stays away from any Psycho Pegasus charging him, and is going to try to just magic a little bit before the end of the game. That's it for movement. I did underutilize him here in this game, but here he gets his magic missiles off on the Pegasus unit, killing 2 of them, but of course he makes his leadership because he's not me. That takes us to bottom of 6, but honestly nothing happens. He does shoot at me, but it doesn't hurt anything, and that's the end of the game. I did not do well. I once he got a hold of my Sorcerer Lord in the Chariot, I was on the back foot, and I could not get any momentum to stop him, and he was right. He kept the pressure on the entire time, and it was an excellent game. He played very, very well. I did not. I admit that fully, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it. We laughed a lot, mostly at my expense, but you know, that's what happens when you're on the bottom. No, real cool guy, real great game, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get into the recap, so let's go there now. Oh man, this wasn't a close game or anything like that, but it was back foot the entire time. And Lord Tremendous, he went too soon. That charge, the counter charge, when my knights had to charge his Duke, that put him into Lord Tremendous. I didn't see that coming. My opponent, his own confession, he didn't realize that was going to happen. We played it fair. My knights had the charge. They are frenzied. There was no way I could avoid it. And yeah, I was like, I'm going to sidestep Lord Tremendous and get him the hell out of there, because no, he didn't want anything to do with that Bret Lord. And oof. My mistake. Lesson learned. I got outplayed quite a bit in this one, which, I mean, considering this guy's rank and everything like that, I'm okay with. I can deal with being outplayed by this guy. That being said, my dice weren't great. It wasn't the main issue of this game, but things, I think my dice were a little intimidated, and I'm going to have to talk to him about that. It's unacceptable. I don't think the Demon Prince is for me. I'm getting more comfortable with him, but I'm afraid to put him into combat because all I think is, well, then I'm not going to be able to cast my spells. I'm not going to be able to dispel. There's a lot of things I want to do with him that I can't do if he's in combat. So since I need more specialized characters, I think it'd be a smarter use of my points to just have a Sorcerer Lord on the table that I can throw into combat if it's really necessary, if it's important. But otherwise, I'm going to try to use them as basically mobile platforms for magic missiles, and that just seems to be my playstyle for these guys. I really missed the Chaos Lord. I missed having something that was equivalent to the Duke. I don't think he would have beat his Duke, especially when I was rolling, but I missed having the Killy character that I could throw into his Killy character to try to deal with him. The Pegasus Knights and Killy Bret heroes are just way tough. I mean, my plan was magic missiles them as much as possible to try to at least narrow down the amount of attacks they were going to get, And yeah, that plan went to poop real quick. I loved the challenge, though. I learned a ton, and it was a great game, and I hope to do a lot better in our rematch. I mean, honestly, the bar's set pretty low there, but I think it's possible to improve. I did get my butt kicked, but I still did add to the pile. So I didn't get any of his characters, so those numbers stay the same. However, there were no men-at-arms or grail monks on the table, but there were peasant bowmen, and I killed 9. The one lone, just defiant little bastard on the hill, throwing his bow and stuff. Yeah, may he live forever, but his 9 buddies, they won't see the sequel. And I did get some of the Knights of the Realm. I think there was 28, 29 total, and I got 14 of them. So that's a new item on the pile. So the Dark Gods will be thrilled. In special, there were no Mounted Knights, but I did get 6 more Pegasus Knights, and honestly, that's just 6 complete victories as far as I'm concerned. And then there was nothing in rare, so those numbers stay the same. And of course, I can always take solace in the amount of High Elves that are dead. Oh, those numbers look good. No updates here, just like to show off my numbers. Same here, just enjoy seeing all the corpses of Wood Elves and, unworthy Tomb Kings. And there's some Chaos Dwarves and Orcs and Goblins. I'd love to fight some more Orcs and Goblins someday. It really got to bump those numbers up. And that's it. Another battle report is in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. And as always, thanks!